Alright, so I made a team building video a few days ago, but I don't know. I feel like I didn't say enough, so we're gonna do this again. So, also for those, wait, I'm on the wrong account. This is not, I was on my Dirty Harry account. I need to, let's see. I was testing some stuff on Dirty Harry, and, oh yeah, I decayed. I was 1600, but I, have been decaying, so. Yeah, I did recover my elo from the disaster that was the last video. So I decided the other day that I would build within every team building archetype in advance, which I was like, I haven't built teams outside of special offense or mixed offense really, so yeah, let's just get right into it. So the very first one that I made, wait, which one is this? Okay, Mag P2. That would be this, the offensive balance. I don't know why it isn't just called Mag P2. Epicuno, you're a weirdo. I just call it what it is. And I came up with this. So, it's a very standard Mag P2 squad. Uh, it's got a Metagross, because, if you're going to use Magneton, you might as well use Metagross. Celebi, Heracross, P2, Suicune. I feel like this team is really, really weak to Charizard. Because P2 really isn't a good answer to Charizard at all. Uh, and while Heracross can outspeed Moltres, it's not outspeeding Charizard. So I guess you can Calm of Celebi before it comes in, and you can start slamming it with Psychics. But yeah, the way to directly deal with Charizard is not ideal at all. I feel like this team would struggle a lot with the uh, Snorlax, Charizard sort of mixed offense team that you see like once in a while on ladder. And the idea of Sub Suicune, by the way, is uh, let's take a look here. Sub, I really like Sub Suicune lead, and having substitute protects you from explosions mostly, so you don't have to play games of Metagross. And it also allows you to directly set up on Milotic. So, and it's just a good way to get Scarman for the most part. Like if Milotic leads or Scarm leads, you can go right into Magneton, and you know, Scarm isn't going to click Roar turn one, because that would be like a complete waste. Uh, a lot of the time, if Scarm is leading against Suicune, it's going to spike 100%, then it's going to phase it out, and then, yeah. And then it'll, like, start using Protect on something else to get its health back, and it's going to start switching around. That's usually how Scarm lead is played. I guess Roar could be valid against Suicune lead, but, for the most part, Substitute is just a good option, especially against lead Metagross, because lead Metagross, uh, just like Metagross as a whole. People like to joke that Metagross is the best water resist in the tier, just because while none of its moves bar Explosion will KO these water types outright, Explosion is such a auto KO button, and Metagross is so threatening that, you know, in a way it kind of is like a water resist, because it's forcing like Suicune's out, because you don't want your Suicune to die. It might be your win con, so if it gets blown up, what use is it to you? And Sub is also good against where is it? Oh, you know, sleep users and Celebi, but a lot of Celebi EV to outspeed this kind of Suicune, so it rarely really matters, and that's kind of why I surrounded this Suicune with teammates that are naturally good into Celebi. Like, what's the best way to deal with Elite Seed user? Have your own Celebi that's immune to Elite Seed and can set up on that on the opposing Celebi or Venusaur. What's also good in the Celebi? Jolly Heracross, which outspeeds the vast majority of Celebis in the first place. The only ones that are outspeeding this kind of Heracross are like, the super Celebis, the ones that run, like, max speed modest and make sure that they EV just to outspeed Jolly Heracross. But, like, the vast majority of them that hover around 270, you're going to be outspeeding them. And Jolly Heracross is just badass overall, because you outspeed Gyarados. What is happening? There we go. You outspeed Jolly Gyarados, you outspeed Moltres, you outspeed like some Salamences as well. What's like another big one? You outspeed all Claydol. You outspeed. Let's see. Where is it? There's one that I'm forgetting. Oh, a lot of Zapdos too. So, yeah, as good as Adamant Heracross is, I think Jolly is just too good. Just because you're also outspeeding stuff like Venusaur, which Venusaur would otherwise outrun you. But now you're outrunning Venusaur, you're outrunning Breloom, you're outrunning all of these guys. And I think speed is so important in the current metagame that honestly, this might be a bit of a warm take, but I think Adamant Heracross should be on the more niche side. Someone like BKC is gonna call me a heretic for saying that, or say some other expletives at me, or he won't care, because, it's only me who's suffering, not BKC. But I think outspeeding so many of these Pokemon and giving yourself so many opportunities to do something makes Heracross artificially better. So, and obviously Super B is good. You could argue that Leech Seed is better over Hidden Power Fire, but if you're gonna do that, I think those kind of sets that don't have like a Hidden Power Fire to hit steals are better when Dugtrio is in play. Those make a lot more sense. Ferdazi did something like that recently in the loser finals of Winter Seasonals. He brought a Calmine Leech Seed Psychic Recover Celebi into Siglet, and his structure was Celebi, Blissey, Dugtrio, Skarm. So that can work, but I don't think that really works here. And usually I like going HP Ice, but to be honest, my Mence answers aren't like the worst. Like, I have the best possible, DD Mence answer in P2. Metagross is a good Mence answer for the most part. Good, kind of, because it will suck into Mixed Mence, but more physically based Salamences you're going to be doing better into. And obviously, Suicune is a good Salamence answer. So yeah, that's my Mag P2 team, and then we have Dual Blob, which is what this is, the lax stuff. So I forgot what I did here. Oh, yeah, this is cool. So, wait a minute, that's not right. Oh wait, yeah, it is. So, yeah, we have Metagross, Suicune, Jolly Dugtrio. I'd go Adamant. I probably should go Adamant. Just because, well, actually, I miss out. Do I care about Raikou, though? I have a Snorlax and a Blissey. I don't know. Adamant is also good into... You know what? Yeah, I'm gonna go Adamant. Sorry, I have music playing in the background that you guys can't hear. I don't know if Rock Slide. Actually, Rock Slide is good because it allows you not to be completely useless in Assailments and Aerodactyl. So, yeah. You could argue something different could be done with Lax. I don't know. I personally hate, uh, like how weak Snorlax tends to be to Gengar. What do I have on Blissey? Oh, Wish. Yeah. Uh, course, Rest. Honestly, Rest Lax might be good here. Yeah, we'll do Rest. Fuck it. We know that Rest Snorlax sucks. Um. Yeah. So, yeah, this is how I'd do it. Um, you're gonna get destroyed by Taunt Gengar, I think, but oh yeah, you're absolutely getting destroyed by Taunt Gengar, but this is like the best way I can really build it, honestly, because I think these kind of dual blob teams of the rest Snorlaxes are bad, and I wouldn't use them. So, what's up next? Oh yes, the Milotic stall stuff. So I was talking about this earlier with lead Scarm, but also I don't have leftovers on Scarm. That's an oversight. Uh, yeah. So this is very typical. You could probably run Toxic, but I think Drill Peck is better here, so you don't get completely taken advantage of by Heracross. A lot. I mean, honestly, you're gonna get dominated by Mag P2 Heracross anyway, because after Scarm and Dugtrio are gone, your best answer to Heracross is Claydol, which gets OHKO'd by Megahorn and dies. I'm pretty sure. Here, I'll calc it right now. Let's see. I'm very positive that uh, Heracross OHKO's Claydol. Like, always. Yeah. no, no doubt about it. So, I mean, like, Claydol gets OHKO'd. I mean, how much? Let's see. Yeah, and Megahorn is completely destroying Milotic, and I actually want to calc Guts really quick, because I am curious. Megahorn is doing over. Yeah, so Megahorn. At that point in the match, Heracross will just, like, rip through all of this. But, I mean, there are a lot of people who cheat in the builder, who are like, oh, I don't need to run Heracross, and I don't need to use Heracross with Mag. I don't need to do this, and this. So, I mean, and also, Drill Peck is just good overall, because, you know, it pressures Tar, pressures Breloom as well. Um, and hell, you can touch sub. Well, actually, you're going to be able to touch sub Flygon anyway because of Roar. And also allows you to directly deal with Gengar too, which I think is pretty good. So yeah, I think Drill Peck is valid there. And then we have, I think Calm Mind Blissey on these kind of builds is really good because there are some special offense strategies that will try and, like, trap Celebi and then use something like Sub Suicune or Sub Jirachi to win. But then Calm Mind Blissey comes in and is a complete foil to all of that. And also, being able to the foil, the likes of Suicune, is always awesome. So yeah, I'm all for that. And this team overall does really well into Suicune because we have boom, you have the boom on the Claydol, you have the hazard pressure from Skarm, uh, Milotic, which is not a good Suicune answer, but it could be a good Suicune pivot once you've lead seeded it or whatever. And then Dog Trio carries, as I like to say. So pretty typical 6 overall. You could probably use Parasong Celebi to really like bring the hammer down on other Calm Minders, but because you have a Calm Mind Blissey, I don't think it really matters too much. So that's the way I look at it. And what's next? I think it's Mag Offense that I built next. Yes, it is. So what I decided to do here was a suit mag kind of thing. So you have Pursuit Tar, Magneton. It's like more of a bulkier mag. It's EV to outspeed Agility Metagross. And then you have a Jolly Choice Band meta. So the idea of this Metagross is that you are a Choice Band Metagross that outspeeds other Metagross. And you're a Metagross that ties with Breloom, which is awesome. You're a Metagross that also outspeeds all Tyranitar, which is awesome. And you're a Metagross that ties with Heracross. So this is a Metagross that does wonders. In fact, this is what I was testing on Dirty Harry, was this team. And I was really impressed with how well it did. So, and then we have like an offensive Swampert here. And then another sub Suicune, and this one's more offensive oriented, so it successfully beats Blissey. And then something unique, which is a Heracross here, which bulks up and is just a terror. I might actually change the Swampert to Focus Punch. Yeah, I think Focus Punch here is better. Yeah, Focus Punch might be overall better. I mean, Hidden Power Grass also hits like Starmie, but you can snipe Starmie with Pursuit Tar, and hell, you could set up all over the defensive Starmies with Sub Suicune. You can't do it directly though, because defensive Starmie will just T-Wave you. And then this, I was high when I made this. Like, I was super stoned when I made this team. I was super stoned when I made all these teams. But Bulk Up, I don't know, this EV spread might be awful. It might be, although Mega Horn might still KO some stuff. Although, since I have yeah, I have Pursuit Mag. I can just use Snorlax for completely free, and use the best Snorlax set in the tier, which is Curse, Body Slam, EQ, and Self Destruct. This set is awesome, and I love it. It is really, really, really good set. And what I like to do here is just max attack, and then adamant nature, and then you're good to go. Yeah. This team overall does really well in the Blissey with the Jolly Metagross and all the stuff that I think what I'll do here is I'll make Thunder toxic so I can hit Swampert. Yeah, that's probably better. Because this is one of those teams that I think could do a little bit better into Swampert. But yeah, this is really cool. I think speed on I've talked with ABR about Metagross a lot in the past, and how uh, he has repeatedly stated that bulk on Metagross is way too good, because Metagross is debatably the best offensive defensive Pokemon. Metagross is so good. People will say, "Oh, Blissey's number two. Blissey's above Metagross. Skarm's above Metagross." Metagross is like the biggest offensive threat in the tier once it gets a +1 with Meteor Mash, and how it could be argued that Metagross is the best late game sweeper, because Metagross has the bulk to survive like really powerful hits. Metagross is a rock resist, and that is incredible late game. And uh, unlike rock, steel doesn't steel doesn't have all grounded answers. Like, steel has a lot of answers that are immune to spikes, like Zapdos, Moltres, Skarm, but those are all easily dealt with by Rock Slide. So once you like agility or substitute, because sub Metagross is like a thing, uh, you know, those supposed answers now just get completely destroyed. So next up is TSS, and I forgot what oh yes, Choice Band. So yeah, Choice Band, Tar, Taunt, like a Taunt Skarm. Yeah, Taunt Skarm. I went all the way to 200 to outspeed my Lodic. And yeah, I had like a defensive Swampert. The Skarm spread is awesome, or not Skarm spread, Gengar spread is awesome, because it allows you to check immense, and also makes it to where you get reliably to hit KO'd by Claydol. And that's actually something that you want, because that will allow you to reliably Destiny Bond the Claydol, as opposed to, oh no, I had too much bulk and I ended up surviving. Now, what does suck about this TSS team in particular is that it's going to kind of suck into Fortress teams. So, like, the ones that use, like, Pursuit Tar and all that. This team in general is going to... This team as a whole is kind of weak to Pursuit Tar, because Pursuit Tar can come in Pursuit Arrow, it pursues Gengar. Although, I can Destiny Bond with Gengar, so it's not, like, the biggest deal, I guess. And, it could, like, hidden power grass. Tyranitar as a whole, or at least, like, mixed Tar, is going to be a pain in the ass. Which makes me kind of want to have bulk on Tar, just so I have a better shot at dealing with mixed. Although, maybe I should just be good at the game and just play it out, instead of being a Muppet and worrying about it so much. Am I weak to Suicune? I don't know. I think I am. I am a little bit, at the very least, but, it's a typical TSS team. TSS teams are going to have some struggle against Suicune. I forgot to put ad blocker on again, because I'm a Muppet. But, what's next? Oh yeah, mixed offense. So I did this with mixed offense, which... Oh, this team's awesome. So this has two Pattaya users. The same Gengar spread that you guys saw earlier, and Duck Trio. Yeah, this team's fucking awesome, and I love it. Yeah, not much to say here. Agility Zapdos passes to Swampert or Charizard. And then, complete chaos ensues. Especially with, like, Charizard, because the way how people try and answer Pattaya Charizard is sending something in that outspeeds it, or something that can stall it out. But now, at +2 speed, Charizard can set up subs on Aerodactyl, right in front of Aerodactyl, and I'm pretty sure that Pattaya Blaze Fire Blast will just wipe Arrow out. Yeah, now you. Oh fuck, my phone's. God damn, I hate when this happens. Fell in between my sofa. Yeah, you like outspeed and destroy everything. Mence is not taking your modest Pataya blasts well at all, and I decided to have some bulk on the team, so I went like bulky Metagross because bulky Metagross is good on everything. And yeah, this team is awesome. I love it. It's mixed offense at its best. And I do break rules on mixed offense. I do use Duck Trio because I think the problem that mixed offense has is that without trappers, without Skarm, without any of that, mixed offense is atrocious. I think and I do count Porygon 2 as a trapper. Porygon 2 is a trapper. So if you don't have P2 or any of that, your team is just unviable as fuck. So that is why I created oh yeah, and next is Porygon. So I did Agility Zapdos again, because Agility Zapdos is awesome, and a bunch of powerful Calm Minders, Hidden Power Porygon, so I can deal with Tyranitar a bit better, because I couldn't fit a, what's it called? This is the Doug spread I use on most of my special offense squads, so I decided, you know what, Hidden Power Fighting is the way to go on P2. I'm gonna sorely miss the coverage offered to beat Suicune, but I have a modest Zapdos. I have a Calm Mind Thunder Jirachi, which destroys Suicune, and I have a Super Celebi, which tends to do really well into Suicune. So it kind of balances out, I think. Now, feel free to correct me in the comments if this is optimal or not on P2. Because I'm not sure if the nature is correct, but I think it is. I had to sneeze there. Yeah, this team's awesome. Yeah, Speed Pass. I mean, your Rock Resist is Jirachi, which sucks. So like your turn one like tar answer is sus as hell. That's what the kids like to say nowadays, right? Sus. I'm only 21 years old. Why am I talking like I'm 30? Jesus Christ, heroes. Suck. Anyway, P2 stuff is awesome. It does really well into like Skarm lead stuff and the more unorthodox leads. Tar lead is going to be a pain in the ass because you don't want to sacrifice your Zapdos. Zapdos is like a really important part to your success. And going into Suicune turn 1 sucks. So maybe yeah, you might have to lead with Suicune just because your turn 1 tar answers suck ass. Or otherwise not good. So yeah, probably leading with Suicune is probably the way to go on that. Just because the tar answers are so bad. And yeah, that's how I decided to build my P2 squad. I think there's a lot of ways that you can do it. I decided to do it in the most fun way. Because I haven't really built something like this in a while. I'm really, really, I'm really tight when it comes to like using rock resists. The cool thing about this team, though, is that if anything gets dugged, so if you're going against the Celebi, Blissey, Duck Trio squads, either Jirachi or Celebi is going to completely crush the opposition after the fact, because those type of teams tend to suck into other Calm Mind Celebi. Ironically enough, although Calm Mind Blissey is still going to be an issue. As is Snorlax. Snorlax is going to be a massive pain in the ass because Snorlax is going to want to come in on Suicune. It's going to want to, it's really annoying with P2 teams, but yeah, that's typically the issues that those teams have overall. So next is Pursuit Tar stuff. or the Pursuit Tower Fortress sort of team. So I went with this, which is, you know, Bold Suicune sucks, so I'm probably just gonna go with Modest, just so I have some special attack. I mean, you're already like super, super bulky, so I mean, like the extra power helps. Uh, I I always like to put the extra 4 in speed, but yeah, this is very typical, I'd say, of a, you know. Oh, I forgot to EV Blissey. That's funny. Uh, yeah, kind of embarrassing. I forgot to EV the Blissey. Yeah, it's good. So yeah, this is very, Pursuit Tar does Pursuit Tar stuff. Uh, it could be argued that you can do what ABR likes to do and take away Ice Beam in favor of HP investment. But I mean, Ice Beam is also just good in general because, like, I want to use the really bulky Suicune here. And, Aerodactyl's not a DD Mence answer, really. Well, once Salamence hits +1 speed, then, Aero stops being a Mence check. And this kind of Suicune isn't the best Mence check in the world. That's why having Blissey and the Pursuit Tar here is good. Just having Ice Beam as a whole is good. And obviously I have Aroma just because, you know, if Jirachi gets paralyzed, that helps out Jirachi a lot. By the way, I don't know if these EVs are optimal. This is just what I decided to do. Because I am a crazy person, and, I tend to do really crazy stuff on defensive teams. And, oh yeah, this is special offense. So, in hindsight, I might make this sub, or not this, no. There's that Garth spread again. And, yeah, this is my take on what's referred to as Special Spikes offense. This is what I decided to do. Mixed Zapdos with Spikes, Agility Metagross, Super Celebi, offensive Gengar again, and I decided to change this to Sub Suicune just because, hey, it does well into Blissey, why not? It also completely crushes my Lodic, and Cloyster is a good foil to Claydol because Claydol infamously is known for not wanting to spin into like certain spinners. Like Claydol doesn't really like having to switch into something like Fortress, for example, or especially Cloyster because Cloyster has high defenses. It's a water type, so Claydol's getting slammed with Surf. Even an uninvested Surf is doing about like 40-50% to Claydol. And hell, you can also spin yourself on the Claydol. You could spin on the Claydol, or you could boom it. Boom on the Claydol and just not care about what your opponent wants to do. Completely deny them any pressure. And also you have Gengar here too, so... And it's not as if you're giving Claydol a lot of opportunities to spin on this team, because realistically, Claydol's coming in on Zapdos, maybe? But that's only maybe, and if you predict a Claydol switch, well, Claydol's getting slammed anyway. And if you hit Claydol on the switch with a hidden power, the Claydol is going to want to spin, like, immediately, because it's now on a timer, or it's going to want to switch out. And then, you can go into Gengar. Obviously, they can read the Gengar switch and go for it anyway, but that's really risky on their part, because if you stay in and you hidden power again, well, they haven't spun. So they didn't spin. Your spikes are still up, and now they're going to be forced to switch with Claydol again, and that allows you to make your own plays. So, yeah, I think this team is really cool. Initially, I had Dugtrio over Celebi, but I realized that my own Zapdos and Gengar answers are awful if I take Dugtrio. So I just decided to compromise of Celebi. Celebi is not the end-all, be-all electric resist, by the way. It's just a decent one. Because obviously, Zapdos and, Raikou have multiple waves of fucking up Celebi. In fact, Celebi is their primary, target to, remove. It's like Zapdos will remove Dugtrio. Zapdos will deal with it directly with spikes. And sometimes Zapdos, in the case of this team, Zapdos will use Drill Peck and will just completely blow Celebi away with spikes up. Now, when spikes aren't in the picture and Zapdos uses Drill Peck, it isn't going to be hitting as hard. But when spikes are in the picture and Zapdos is spamming the hell out of Drill Peck, then Celebi is getting destroyed on the Switch anyway, but with spikes in the picture, that's it. Celebi's not. And what are you going to switch into, too? Because a lot of the flying resists in the tier don't switch into Thunderbolt very well, at all. At all. I should probably use Toxic on this Zapdos, just because of the Pursuitar Flygon teams that are running around. But, Cloyster is already, a decent, Flygon answer. Not a good one, mind you. Just a decent one. And, I have Gengar on top of it. And I can play around Pursuitar, Flygon stuff. I'm confident that I can do that. And those type of Flygon teams tend to hate Suicune. So, and Metagross, because they're usually their primary physical check in those kind of games are their own Metagross or Flygon, but Flygon doesn't resist Steel, so yeah, it balances out. And those sort of ABR squads with Mischievous and Moltres, those teams get completely shredded by Cloyster, because their whole thing is oh, we're just gonna stack a bunch of levitating Pokemon. Well, what happens when the Spiker also has a Boom and can outspeed your Zapdos? It becomes a problem really quickly when your whole game plan is, oh, I'm just going to send Mischievous out on Cloyster. Well, the issue with that is that Cloyster now gets more spikes, and your Superman team isn't going to have 100% immunities to. Those teams love to run Blissey, they love to run Jirachi and Pursuitar. So there's going to be something on Superman that's affected by spikes. And if it's Pursuitar, well, Pursuitar is getting, worn down really fast. And Superman teams don't use spin, so it's not as if they do have 4 immunities, but there's still 2 Pokemon on their team that are affected by spikes. So that's why I never understood the concept of Superman, because I don't think the power level of Advance is nowhere near the likes of Black and White. In Black and White, you have Alakazam, just these really ridiculous, overpowered Pokemon that not only are immune to spikes, but are also such massive offensive threats that they tear you to shreds. Alakazam just comes in and revenge kills everything and just destroys everything in the tier. And Zam Spikes as a whole, in my opinion, is the best team style in black and white because of that, because it's so ludicrously powerful, and that Spikes immunity allows it to be versatile in itself, because it's not beholden to run like focus sash and stuff. But I'm getting off top. This is an advanced video, by the way. Darth Tyros, not black and white. I need to stop ranting. This is what watching BKC does to you. You start going off on giant tangents in your videos. Alright, so what's next? Oh yes, the Dugtrio stall. So, did Skarm lead again. And this is very similar to the other. Oh, I see what I did here. Okay. Um. Yeah, we're gonna make Suicune modest again. So yeah, this is very, very standard. It's the standard Skarm Dug stuff, but I decided to use a defensive Zapdos just because defensive Zapdos, uh, spikes immune and deals with certain Pokemon very well. And Zapdos can also be a stall machine alongside Blissey, and Aroma Blissey is awesome. You know what? We're using Heal Bell Blissey. It's because Heal Bell's a move is cool. I need to actually make sure really quick that it doesn't have compatibility issues. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, we're using Heal Bell because of I know that you can't use Heal Bell with Wish, but I mean, like, I'm using Heal Bell as like a flavor move anyway, just because the animation on Showdown's cool. But yeah, these teams are really standard, I'd say. Like, spin supports are really good for Blissey and Suicune. Really underrated on Dugtrio, I think. I think spin support for Dugtrio is really, really good. Just because Dugtrio is like the most spike sweep Pokemon ever. Spikes dictate whether or not it's going to be able to trap something again. So say you trap like a Celebi and you KO it, or like you take like a hit, like a hidden power grass or something, and you like live on one or whatever, and then Skarm comes in and Spike. Well, Dugtrio can't come in again, but with Claydol in the picture and you spin, you are allowing Dugtrio to come in and do its job again, which is obviously super good for like any team. Now, of course, this team doesn't have horrible issues with rocks, but your rock resist is Claydol and Dugtrio, which aren't the greatest. And but like this kind of defensive Suicune is alright into those. I have a hidden power Ice Zapdos to deal with DD Ments. Roar Suicune is generically good, and these type of teams tend to not care. Like the if you're going against a Celebi Blissey team or like some sort of Hariyama squad with Celebi, you can trap Celebi and then just go wild with Suicune anyway. Because when you have rest on Suicune, the tables kind of turn, and you're forcing Skarm to come in, and you're forcing certain plays to be made. So yeah, I think there might be some like small changes that you can make, like the Suicune set. You could probably make Suicune like Ice Beam. You can give it more special attack. You could probably make it Crow too. Crow might be good here because it's just the extra defense is nice against stuff like Heracross too, and DD Tar. So it's you guys have any suggestions in the comments, let me know what you guys think could work better on this sort of team. I think this is fine as is, but there could always be improvements to be made. All right, so next is the Magdoll stuff. So What is this? Mixed? Alright, so this is Magdoll with mixed mints. This is very similar to something that BKC did in the most recent SPL. Sub-Suicune again, by the way. And, with the agility Metagross and the Magdoll and the mixed mints. Yeah, this type of team is awesome because it allows you to deal with TSS teams all, and you're using like massive offensive threats that are really good into TSS, like you know, Celebi, really good into TSS naturally. Celebi Mence is just a great like offensive core as a whole because Mence will break for these guys. It's really good generic support as well. The only difference I think here is that um, BKC had Hariyama over Celebi. I chose Celebi just because I wanted to be sturdier into Swampert. Yeah, I wanted to be better into Swampert overall. So I went with Celebi. And I went with Sub-Suicune again because Sub-Suicune is awesome and I can't get enough of it. And when you look at this sort of team, it has a bunch of like offensive threats that can be good in the late game, Like Mixments can be good in the late game. So can Metagross and Suicune and Celebi. So can Claydol to some extent. Uh, so yeah, that's all I gotta say about that. And then this is kind of what this is, a balance of an immediate offensive threat. I took that quite literally, and I used Choice Band Salamence. Choice Band Salamence lead with like a bulkier Magneton with leftovers. Again, with enough speed to outspeed Metagross. And yeah, I chose HP Fire because this team doesn't do as hot into Fortress teams. And I have a Wish Blissey, Protect Metagross, and Starmie. I think this is very generic CB Men's team. You have Starmie, which is good backup for Charizard. Takes the pressure off of Blissey a bit in terms of checking the fire type. Obviously, it isn't ironclad against stuff like Moltres, but with Magneton in the picture, you aren't as worried about it. I think, and this sort of mag spin team is usually just like generically good. Of course, I realized that this team could very well go offensive Starmie. Oh yeah, I could definitely go offensive Starmie. Like, yeah, this probably works. I mean, feel free to tell me in the comments again whether if like Rapid Spin is better here. I'm sure Rapid Spin is better, but you could do worse, I'd say. And plus, in the late game, like this is obviously going to crush certain stuff in the late game. Because you wipe out Salamence, Charizard is screwed. And you're gonna have spikes of your own, so that's awesome. No sand though, but your opponent's probably gonna have sand. Oh yeah, that's another thing too. You destroy Swampert. Not as ironclad as you would like, but yeah. Uh, I'd say that is all I have to say about this sort of team. Of course, you know, you don't have to go offensive Starmie, but I think defensive Starmie is good on this. I just changed it because I had a thought like, what would be really good in like the late game? I'm like, oh yeah, an offensive Starmie of CB Mint sounds awesome with spikes. So yeah, that's probably a good change, but you know. And then this is the very last team that I built. Uh, another Suit Mag squad. This time with Dragon Dance Salamence and Duck Trio. Why did I have Duck Trio on this team? Oh, cause this traps Jirachi. And also is generically good. Although, hmm, I don't know. I think something else might be better here, like Metagross. Yeah, Metagross is probably better, honestly. Uh, cause I currently have I have a Restock Suicune. My own Mence answers are kind of bad, but you know, so be it. Ooh, and what are we gonna do with this Metagross? What are we gonna do? There's so much that we can do with Metagross, honestly. Uh, I get the feeling that I have Pursuit Tar support. Do I just go Choice Band? Like a bulky Choice Band set? Bulky Choice Band's badass. I love it. I love bulky Choice Band's Metagross so much. Bulky Choice Band Metagross is my baby. I really do. Although, longevity on Metagross is so good. I haven't used, and also it's good into, you know what, yeah. We'll just do generic offensive Metagross. Hell with it. Literally good on every team. All the time. This Metagross is never bad. Never. Never, ever, ever. This sort of Metagross is always good. And, you have the Pursuit Tar and the Mag, so you can run the best Snorlax set in the game. You know, Crocoon is awesome. So, and hey, I'm using DD Ments for once, and I also get to use Metagross too. So, yeah, that is the video. I will probably make more team building stuff like this in the future. Until then, I will see you guys next time.